In films, whether it's a drama, romance, comedy, or horror, there will most likely be dialogue, specifically between two characters. Scenes like these are very important. It adds character development, chemistry between the two characters, and it helps emphasize the plot and understanding to the audience. But these days, far too many beginner filmmakers fail at delivering good conversations within their film. And this can be for a number of reasons, whether it be bad acting, or the dialogue's terrible, or the shots are wrong. It just messes with people and it disconnects the audience from the conversation. There's so many little points that if missed, it can destroy the scene entirely. So I'm going to teach you guys the skills to create a successful dialogue scene. Now let's look at why it's important to get these things right. Now there are a lot of things in these scenes that we're trying to emphasize within a conversation. We need to make sure that what's being said can be understood. We need to make sure the audience knows where the characters are and where the focal point is. Now I'm going to be splitting this tutorial up into 4 parts: positioning, shot types, lenses, and audio. Now positioning is very important. First of all is finding an environment that works, that emphasizes the emotion and the atmosphere of the scene, something that really complements their conversation. If the dialogue is sad and emotional, like an argument or a breakup, you want an environment that expresses that. Something like a dimly lit street or a cloudy afternoon in a park. This also helps you work out where you put your characters, whether they're sitting down or standing up, if you want to show a point of status. And these important things will help you dictate where you put your camera. The first thing you must remember is the 180-degree rule. Every single time you shoot something, there is an invisible line called the line of action. This dictates your 180-degree rule, where the camera should only work anywhere behind this line. This is because if it breaks, it can be confusing as to where something is happening, where the characters are or what they're looking at. So keep your camera within the 180-degree rule. Probably the most common mistake with positioning is not using the rule of thirds. My God. Basically, the rule of thirds is a technique to make a short film more balanced and three-dimensional. It helps you to avoid putting a character or focus directly in the center, which creates an unrealistic 2D effect. First thing to think about with the rule of thirds is where your leading lines are. Always have them either on the top or the bottom line, depending on where the subject is. As for the character, you generally want their eyes on the line, and the body proportionate to one of the leading lines. When you shoot your over-the-shoulder shots, have the character facing the camera fill up most of the shot, keeping in mind the positioning of their eyes. Now there are 3 really important main shots you have to remember when shooting a dialogue shot. That is an establishing shot, an over-the-shoulder shot, and a medium shot. You can use a lot of other shots, but these are the basic ones you need to use. The establishing shot, also known as a long shot, establishes the environment, establishes where the characters are in the scene. Remember, it can also establish the mood before the dialogue has even started. Next thing you want is an over-the-shoulder shot of both of your characters, keeping in mind the 180-degree rule, which means the shoulder of the character will be on the opposite side for the next character. Your next shot is a medium shot. It's important to re-establish the scene, re-establish the conversation, who they're talking to, where they are. And this is where a medium shot comes in handy. Keeping in mind your leading lines, you can make a medium shot look really nice. The good thing about a medium shot is you don't have to quickly change and cut scenes between a dialogue shot and a reaction shot if they happen too fast. Sometimes you want someone's reaction while they're talking, and you can also do this with an over-the-shoulder shot. Just cut to a shot of just them reacting to the other person talking, like in this shot here. Also notice how the dimension of the scene is so much more 3D because the background is blurred out and completely focused on the characters. But this can be hard to do if you do not have a zoom lens. Wide lenses tend to shoot the background quite wide. It tends to overemphasize everything, instead of focusing in on 1 or 2 characters. While if you had a zoom lens, the focus is more real. Now the final thing is audio. You can have an amazing looking dialogue shot, but have crap audio, and that just makes you look like the biggest amateur. Audio is essential. There's a lot of room for error in every other situation, whether it be a camera angle, or acting, or lighting, but with audio, there is no room for error. If you have bad audio, it does not look like a professional shoot. Now yes, you can have a very professional camera like this one, but their audio is not good. They're not meant for audio. They usually put in the cheapest audio jack they can find. So instead of using this, oh, that smudged the camera. Hang on. There we go. All good now. So instead of using the camera's audio, you can actually use a microphone. So much better to use. They can be quite expensive, but I promise you it's worth it. Also, if you're shooting outside and if you're shooting outside, make sure you have something over the microphone. Now, if you're shooting outside where there's wind can be horrible. Wind is the worst thing ever. It can make your sound go disgusting. So you want to have some sort of filter over the microphone like this dead cat filter. It's named so because it feels like a dead cat. Trust me, go feel a dead cat and it actually feels just like this. In terms of settings for your camera, make sure it's set on manual. Do not trust technology to know what it's doing. Ever. Set it on manual, then you want to open up the audio settings and then open up audio level. This is where you can test out how loud your volume is. Generally, you want the marker to be below 12. So a few other tips for dialogue scenes. Make sure your actors know the scene they're doing. Make sure they rehearse it countless of times with the camera. Otherwise you won't get that chemistry. Make sure they know the meaning of the scene and why their characters are saying what. Sometimes if it's an emotional scene, it's good to do a close-up. Don't forget your reaction shots. They're so important. Everyone forgets them because they seem useless. They're not. It's good to see a reaction because it can prompt the audience to react in the same way. If someone tells a character something they don't like, they're gonna react like this. That can tell you that he's about to argue with them. If you don't show that, we don't know why he's suddenly bursting out. We want to know the thoughts and reactions of the characters. Make sure you do that. Even though in your establishing shot and your medium shot, your characters are this far apart, when you do your over-the-shoulder shot, it's important to know you have to put them closer. Actors in over-the-shoulder shots are closer than they appear. So when you do these over-the-shoulder shots, put them closer, otherwise your characters will look like this. That's crazy! They actually have to be this close. So yes, those are the essential tips on dialogue shots. Thank you everyone for watching and keep an eye out for more tutorials from me. I'll see you guys later and enjoy your filming.